guys, my name is Derek from Lost Wilderness. I'm going to be teaching you some Guitar 101 during the next few weeks / months of this quarantine, however long it lasts. I'm going to be here, teach you some basics on the guitar. In this first lesson, we're going to be discussing different string names and how to remember them, along with going up the fretboard up to the 5th fret at least on each string, and for you to memorize which notes those actually are, and that'll help you with a little bit of octave stuff we'll discuss in this lesson and another video too, along with 10 chords you guys should check out to get going. Alright, into the string section and how to remember the names. We've got the low E, which is this first top string on your neck. This is the tuning peg you'd be messing with if you gotta tune that low E. Next, on the strings down, we've got the A. Then we've got the D. Next string down, we've got the G. Next string down, we've got the B. And the highest string, which is the bottom string on the neck, is the high E. Now this high E is an octave of this low E. It's a few octaves above it. You get the gist of it. Now a good way to remember the order of the strings, you know, E, A, D, G, B, E, is every artist does get better eventually. Every artist does get better eventually. It's a good way to remember. Now into the fret section. So if this top string is an E, our next note is gonna be an F, because there are no E sharps, okay? After the F, we got an F sharp. Then we've got a G, still on that low E string. Then we've got G sharp. And then we're to A, which is actually the open string below this low E. You see how that's ringing out? So from that A, that open A, or over here on the 5th fret of the low E, can go to A sharp. Then we go to B, but there's no B sharp. So from the 2nd to the 3rd fret, we go from B to C, then to the C sharp. Then we got D, still on that A string. Now that D on the 5th fret of the A string is the same as this open D string. This is good used for writing, 1, and 2, to tune your guitar. Make sure your strings are all in tune if you're not using the Guitar Tune app. Now, Guitar Tune, I know you didn't pay me to mention this video, but if you want to sponsor Lost Wilderness, we love that sponsor, right? Just kidding, but that'd be pretty cool, not gonna lie. Next string down, we've got the D string, then we're to D sharp, and what comes after D sharp? Back to E. So that's our first octave, guys, and girls, sorry. After E, we're back to the F. That octave, got that octave going. F sharp, still on that D string, to G, which is the next string. Then from G we go to G sharp, making sure you guys can see this. Then to A, A sharp to B. Now this is the weird part on the guitar fretboard, because normally we'd hit the 5th string and that would sound harmonious, you know, because they'd both be in the same key, but here it sounds off. So on the G string, it's 4th fret to get that B sound, that B key. Good to remember. It's not like the 5th fret like all the other strings. And then from that B, we go back to C, to C sharp, to D sharp, and then back to our E. It's just an octave V, so 3 octaves right there. And then with our E, we go to F sharp, to G sharp, A. So that's the first 5 frets on each string. It's pretty useful because you can, you know, pick out octaves like. Next, we're going to discuss some chords. We've got the E major, the E minor, the F major, the G major, the A major, the A minor, the B7, the C major, the D major, and the D minor. So to get you started, we're going to start with the E major, because that's, you know, the root of the first low string, you know. So E major, we've got our middle finger 2nd fret on the A string. Then we've got our ring finger right below that on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then we've got our pointer finger on the G string, but on the 1st fret. So it sounds like this if you strum them all up. Reminds me of a Radiohead song. You know that one. And then if you strum all the strings, that's an E major. And then if you take off your pointer finger off the 1st fret of the G string, you get an E minor chord. It's more sad, less upbeat than the E major. E major is much more upbeat than the E minor. On to the F major. F major and the B7, I'd say, are the trickiest chords to play for beginners. So on the F major, we're going to be using all 4 of our fingers that you typically would have on the fretboard, minus your thumb. Most guitarists don't use their thumb. I don't really use it, to be honest, either. But anyways, so we have our pinky on the 3rd fret of the D string. Then we've got our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. Then we've got our pointer finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and then we end it with our middle finger on the 1st fret of the high E. So it sounds like this. Now with the F major, you're not gonna ring out the low E and the A, okay? So you're just starting from the D and down, basically. The D string and down. Moving on to the G, we've got our middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E. And then we've got our pointer on the 2nd fret of the A string. And then to end the chord, gonna play the next 3 strings open, no frets being pressed down, and then we're gonna end it with the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the high E. So it sounds like this. Was doing a little Beatles thing, Baby It's You right there. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike by YouTube. But yeah, the Beatles, you love that. Next we've got the A. The A is, I'd say, pretty easy, kind of like the E major and the E minor. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, you're just holding down your pointer on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then 2nd fret with your middle finger on the G string, so right below that, and then your ring fingers getting the 2nd fret on the B string. Now for this one, you're just gonna strum the bottom 5 strings, not this low E. So that's an A major, bleh. And then from that A major, you can go to A minor. So basically, you're just gonna, you see how your fingers are like this? You know, it goes your pointer, then your middle finger, and then your ring finger on the 2nd fret. Well, you're gonna reposition it so your middle finger is actually on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then your ring fingers on the 2nd fret of the G string, but your pointer fingers on the 1st fret of the B string. So then you get this sound. A major to A minor. Next, we've got the B7, another tricky chord. Gonna put our middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, so that's what it sounds like. That's our root of the chord. And then we've got our pointer on the D string, 1st fret. That's what it sounds like. And then we've got our ring finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. That's what the B7 sounds like so far. And then we've got our pinky on the 2nd fret of the high E string. So this is what the B major sounds like. B major 7. Now we've got the C. This is a bit easier. I'm gonna put your middle finger on pardon me, the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then we've got the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and then you're gonna end it with your pointer on the 1st fret of the B string. So this is what it sounds like. Go on that C major to an A minor. If you guys are curious. Sounds like some Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here stuff. And then from the C major, we go to the D major and the D minor. These are pretty easy. So these chords, you're just focusing on the D, G, the B, and the E strings. So for these 2 chords, you're gonna be strumming the D open, the D string open, while you have, for the D major, you got your pointer finger on the 2nd fret on the G string. That's what it sounds like. Then you got your ring finger on the 3rd fret on the B string. And then you've got your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the high E. So this is what the D major chord sounds like. Sounds like Cigarette Daydream with Cage the Elephant. Sounds kind of like up that alley. And then for the D minor, you're just gonna move your fingers around a little bit. It's almost the same shape, but instead of having, you know, a 2 3 2, you got a 2 3 1 for the D minor. So it's middle finger is on the 2nd fret, G string, and then your ring finger is on the 3rd fret, B string, and then you have your pointer finger on the 1st fret of the high E. Like with the D major, you do not strum the low E or the A strings. You just focus on the bottom 4 strings, so it sounds like this. So that about does it for the first Guitar 101 class during the quarantine, everybody. I hope this video helped you. Hope to bring you many more lessons in the weeks to come. Schedule we're trying to follow at this time is Monday and Wednesdays. Upload 1 episode each of those days, and hopefully we can keep up with that. If you guys have anything in particular you'd like to learn, put down in the comments what you'd like us to discuss and go over in the future episode. And if you can follow, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, that'd be much appreciated. Until then, guys, stay safe.